This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, we have a great zchus to be at the Kever of the Shela Hakadosh, and it's noteworthy to be here this week, Parshas Vayetze, which is the week the Shela Hakadosh was Allah L'Eretz Yisrael, Moreno Rabbi Shaya ben Rabbi Avram Halevi. What's the Shela Hakadosh doing in Teveria? The Chidah brings a great revelation that if you look at the psukim in Megillas Rus, every single pasuk begins with the letter Vav, with the exception of 8 psukim. Those 8 psukim form an acrostic. Yeshaya Beis Aleph, Yeshaya ben Avram, the Shela Hakadosh. The Shela Hakadosh had the neshama of Rus. Rus, of course, was Ima Shel Malchus, the mother of Mashiach. Where will Mashiach reveal himself? Anybody know? In which city will Mashiach reveal himself? This is not a matter of dispute. The Gemara openly says, the Rambam paskins that way. Mashiach will reveal himself in Teveria. Therefore, the Shela Hakadosh is the progenitor of Mashiach. He's buried here in the city of Teveria. He was born in 1560. In 1620, he's the Rav of Prague. That was the most prestigious Rabbanus in the entire Jewish world. But he had a great longing to come to Eretz Yisrael. But of course, he would not tell his own family because they would try to dissuade him. So he decides to write an ethical will, which was the longest ethical will in history. It's known as the Shela Hakadosh Shnei Luchos Habris. The entire voluminous, multi-volume work, Shela Hakadosh, is an ethical will that he wrote to his children. He wasn't able to finish it before he went to Eretz Yisrael. He finished it in Eretz Yisrael. He's coming. He has many offers. He was offered to be the Rav in Damascus. He was offered to be the Rav in Sfas. His heart was set on Yerushalayim. He comes to Yerushalayim this week, Parshas Vayetze, when we read the psukim, Ein zeh kiyim beis Elokim v'zeh shar hashamayim. Last night we were in the Old City. We found the cross streets of the street that goes to from the Kotel and Rechov HaYehudim. That cross section is where the Shela Hakadosh lived. We were there last night. Today we're at the Shela Hakadosh's Kever. The Shela Hakadosh says an amazing thing. He says, even if a person doesn't learn, they should say over the names of the Parshios of the Torah. Bereshis, Noach, Lech Lecha, Vayera. Say the names of the Masechtos. Say Brachos, Peah, Demai. Say why? Just saying the names of the Parshios and the names of the Masechtos will engender a longing and a desire to learn them. The Shela Hakadosh wrote a famous work on the Siddur. It's called, after this week's Parsha, Shar HaShamayim. Why? So the Shela said he wanted his Svarim to have the widest circulation, and he wanted to have a chelek in the tefillos of all of Klal Yisrael. So by writing a commentary on the Siddur, he felt this way he would have a chelek in the tefillos of all of Klal Yisrael. Shela Hakadosh writes, the Gemara tells us, Kol ma she'amar lecha ba'al habayis aseh, chutz mitzeh. You listen to the Baal Habayis until he says, get lost. If he tells you to leave the house, you don't have to listen to him anymore because you're not your Baal Habayis. But the Shela Hakadosh interprets this mystically. Whatever the Rebbeinu Shalom tells you to do, you have to listen. But when he tells you, you're too far gone, you can't do tshuva, you don't have to listen to him. Acher heard a baskal. Acher heard the baskal. Shuvu vanum shoivavim chutz me'acher. Everyone could do tshuva except for Acher. So God was telling him, say, says the Shela, you listen to HaKadosh Baruch Hu unless you think he's telling you that you can't do tshuva. If you think the Rebbeinu Shalom is telling you can't do tshuva, you don't listen to him. Because we're never beyond hope. It's never hopeless. We could always do tshuva. The Shela Hakadosh Nifter in Teveria, Yud Aleph Nisan, in the year Shin Tzadi 1630. Tehei Nishmas Yitzura B'tzar HaChaim.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.